More psychic medium chronicles for you guys. Okay, this is how I knew that my dad's former wife was going to attempt to kill him. Okay, allegedly. Anywho, so years ago, and I do mean years ago, probably before they even said I do, right? I had this dream that my dad was being held hostage. I found out he was being held hostage and they wanted ransom money, and that they were like going to like cut him piece by piece until they got the money, right? And in the dream, I knew, I had a knowing, this is what I'm saying about this stuff, of who it was, right? And for sake of trying to be as discreet as possible, of course, whoever see this that know what's going on, they're going to be like, no, they're going to know who the hell I'm talking about. But, you know, you still got to give grace to folk. I knew. I had this knowing it was her. So fast forward years ago, okay? I would say now my dad has been divorced. I would say, has it been a year now? Time is flying. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Okay, so one day, you know, you dream this crazy shit, you put it in the archive, and the thing is, you're supposed to like write this stuff down, right? I don't know if I wrote it down. I do have a dream journal. I'm really about to have to start writing everything down, because when the stuff happens, I'd be like, ding, but it's just something about having those little trophies, you know what I'm saying, and writing the shit down. So anyway, one day, I'm talking to my dad on the Alexa on the phone. I don't know what that was about. I called him or something. And so he said that he had been in an emergency room. He didn't want to call me. So first of all, the fact that I'm finding out and he didn't call me when it was occurring, I knew it was some shit in the game. Because there's no way that he wouldn't have called me right away, right? Now, the kicker to this is, I don't think he knew all the way. You know how sometimes you have this feeling, but you're not quite sure what the fuck it is, but you know it's some shit in the game. I think that's what was going on with him. And it was enough shit in his mind to be like, I'm not calling my daughter. Okay, cool. All right, so stay with me. So he calls me and lets me know that he had been in an emergency room and he was poisoned. Now, the interesting thing about this, he said he was at the casino with this woman, okay? And he started to not feel good, right? And he thought that he had been poisoned at the casino. Now, right away, I know good and hell well, listen, they about their money. Ain't nobody poisoning nobody in there, okay? If that happens, if any of that happens, that's going to be a very rare chance. We all know there's cameras everywhere. They're not trying to catch smoke around their money. You catch smoke for they would. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they're not trying to have none of that at these casinos, okay? So that didn't add up. So he thought it was at the casino. So he said when he got there, and later on, I got the details of it. After it was even worse. Oh my God, the details were even more ridiculous. So he got there. They tested him, and he said he had marijuana in his system and something else, something that did not make sense. Like, there's no way you were poisoned with this shit. Like, what was really going on? So I don't know what this was about, but he said he was praying very hard. He had called his aunt, that's like a real prayer warrior of their side of the family, of my dad's side of the family. He called them and everything. When he told me this, instantly, ding, that dream popped up. Now, one thing about dreams, right? When I woke up out of the dream, I said, oh, she gonna try to have him taken up out of here, right? They're not always dead on, but they do what they need to do to get your attention and get the message. You generally get the message of what the dream is trying to convey. Sometimes it's like very dramatic or whatever, but you know what it's trying to convey, right? Instantly, ding! Well, I wasn't going to say anything because every time I would tell him something about this woman, we would get into it. We would get into it, and it was ridiculous because the nasty shit that she would do was so obvious. It was so like in your face, and for whatever reason he would refuse to see it. I don't know why. I don't know why he ignored it. I swear it was like he was under some spell. And to be honest, when I went in his house, because she had moved in his house, I'd seen some, I really believe that she had put some kind of work on him, some magic on him. Now, she'll never admit to this, right? I tried to even see if I could get it out to her, but, you know, she'll never admit to it. But I believe it, and I believe she had some work on him because it was too ridiculous how he would just ignore the shit. But, like, all things backfire. That stuff begins to backfire. But, yeah, so anyway, after it's all said and done, after they had been apart or whatever, he was like, you know, somebody told me. He was like, I think she tried to kill me. And somebody told me that somebody was me. And probably one other person. We won't say who that is, but that's my girl. That's my girl. But yeah. It's so crazy with this whole psychic medium shit. Like, you'll get something, and then when it pops up, it hits your spirit, and you just know. You're like, oh, yeah. I believe, had he had not called my aunt, and they weren't praying like they did, they were interceding, because she was trying, and she was literally trying, like, allegedly, all this is alleged, right? I'm saying all of this is alleged, but she was like not even trying to get him to the hospital. Like, she was in like weird stuff. Like, you could tell she was, which was really ridiculous, because had something happened to my dad, that would have been the first motherfucker I would have been hooping and hollering about. And it was just amazing to me that this person would even try something like that with me. She wouldn't have got away with that. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with y'all.